Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are just opening up the waiting room, so we'll wait a moment as you all come in and join us. But welcome. We have a great session here with a wonderful lineup of speakers. So just momentarily, we will have all participants here, and our great colleague Ryan Crawford will kick us off. All right, looks like we have about 40 of us here today. Welcome, everyone. Ryan, you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, thanks, Madison. I want to welcome everybody to the Advancing Equity Through Action session. Thanks for joining us. Hope your conference has been a really incredible experience. I know for me, it's been really fascinating, a great learning and a great community building opportunity. I want to make sure that we all are aware up front that we're going to continue this conversation and provide next steps in a resource guide that we're going to post onto Triton's Connect. So feel free to go to Triton's Connect and check out the resource guide and continue the conversations that we're having today during this session on that space. I'm Ryan Crawford, and I go by the pronouns he, him, his. I'm the Associate Director for Development in the Alumni Office. It's my opportunity to moderate this session as I was a TLC committee member. We're going to be hearing from panelists about getting involved in the community, and time permitting, we're going to attend breakout sessions to be able to ask questions personally of them before we wrap up to join our closing keynote. I'm going to ask each panelist to introduce themselves during their time and briefly touch upon these opportunities, knowing that hopefully we'll get a chance to go deeper into them in the breakout sessions or through our resource guide. With that, I'm going to throw it over to Cynthia in admissions.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Hinojosa. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am one of the admission officers here on our team with UC San Diego's Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I'm also an alumni and the alumni liaison. So if you do have any questions, I will have my contact information available at the end. And today I'm here to talk a little bit about the Alumni Ambassador Program that we are hosting through our office, in addition to some other opportunities that you can participate and support us in. I'm going to talk a little bit about the purpose, the expectations, and the outcomes of the program, and then make a list of some of those events. So the purpose of what I like to call the AAA program, so the Alumni Ambassador Program, is for you all to share your story. We know that you have a lot of experience in and outside of UC San Diego, and our students want to hear from alumni. So it is a great opportunity for you to share what it was like for you on our campus and things like that. Oftentimes when we're on the road, students ask us, well, what was it like for you while you were at UC San Diego? Or what was your favorite spot on campus? Or what was your major? Things like that. So I have the unique, benefit of being able to share that because I'm also an alumni, but not all our staff is. So that's where your support is very valued. And we really, encourage you to share your story with our students. Also just expanding our brand. We recruit as a California public university, we recruit heavily throughout the state, but we have folks going throughout the United States, even internationally. And we can't cover every single corner there is out here. And there's a lot of folks that don't get to hear about the opportunities here at UC San Diego. So it would be a great opportunity for you to speak in your hometown or share those experiences with students that you might know in your local high schools and things like that. The expectation of an alumni ambassador is simply to assist us in a lot of the recruitment events and yield events, right? So this might be information sessions, or it might be college fairs, anything like that. Everything right now is, happening on a virtual platform until further notice. So of course, stay tuned for updates in that regard. But for now, all of our events are virtual. It's important to know that you are not replacing an admission officer. So you do not have to know the ins and outs of UC San Diego. We just will provide some information to keep you up to date with some of the most important things you need to know, like our timeline or majors or things like that. And then, of course, as an alumni ambassador, we encourage you to participate in other events like Triton Day, or maybe on an alumni panel, things like that. When it comes to the outcomes, again, we just expect you to know the basics. We want you to speak on the current status of campus, right? So instead of referring to Third College, you might definitely want to refer to it as Marshall College. There are majors that have changed names, or majors that we no longer offered, new majors, things like that. But don't worry, we will keep you up to date, but we will provide those resources for you. And of course, we encourage you to be enthusiastic and professional at all times. You may be the first person that this individual speaks to that represents UC San Diego, right? You might be answering the same question 100 times, but it might be their first time hearing it. So we really encourage you to maintain that positive attitude. In a physical space, we often ask that you record student contact information, whether that's through a contact card or an electronic form. But right now, you wouldn't have to worry about that. And then, of course, it is okay to say, I don't know. You don't have to know everything. We just want you to answer the basic questions and to be comfortable in referring that student to an admission officer, right? We will provide you with their contact information so that you can share it with students and families. Next would be our application process. It's very simple. It's a very simple form that you can submit. It's just your general contact information and a couple other alumni related questions. So we can best fit you in location wise or major wise, things like that. So the link is available there, and I believe it will be made available later on, but I could also share it with you personally via email. And then, of course, there will be a short onboarding webinar or training module that will be available at a later point. And then we would need you to continue, if you would like to continue participating annually, you would need to attend just a quick training or assessment to make sure that you are up to date at all times. All right, and then I know that we're short on time, so I really just want to present a quick list of some of our spring yield programs that you might be interested in helping us and supporting us with. Currently, we would be hosting admitted student receptions that are coming up. Those dates are yet to be confirmed, and everything will be on a virtual platform for now. We have things like a Triton brunch, calling campaigns. Those are huge. This is an opportunity for you to connect with students at your leisure. There is no specific time frame. There aren't, a specific number of calls you have to make, but you would really help us connect with students and share information at a faster rate. And then, of course, Triton Days for both first years and transfer students. Those are huge, important dates and a lot of students often come to those events to make their final decision, and they definitely want to hear from your experiences. Alumni spotlights, Triton talks and panels. Those are basically information sessions with a little extra with the alumni panels, right? So you're able to answer questions through Q&A and things like that. We also have an opportunity to help us with shipping materials, things like that. And those details will come. Just let us know if you are interested. And then lastly, if you do have any questions, we are providing our contact information, my email, of course, and then also Michael Trask, who is the Associate Director of Non-Resident Recruitment. He is the person who is really helping me with this program. And then Kristen Schreiber, who is in charge a lot of the events that we host virtually. So she's a great contact for calling campaigns as well. So I'll go ahead and leave that here and then pass it back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Cynthia. Next, I want to throw it over to Tammy T Levins. Tammy?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ryan. Hello, everybody. I am Tammy T Levins, and I am the Associate Director for Faculty and Staff Giving. And I've recently celebrated my 15 years of service right here at UC San Diego. Thank you. In 2014, I started volunteering for the Black History Month committee, which oversees our annual Black History Month celebration brunch. Now we're calling it a scholarship and award ceremony because we've moved to virtual. But in 2015, I joined the Black Staff Association, which I now serve as the chair for. And I also serve on the executive board for the Staff Association. So as the chair of the Black Staff Association, I have an opportunity to work with all of the staff affiliate groups across campus. So that includes our CLSA, which is the Chicano X and Latin X. Staff affiliate group, the PASA, which is our Pan-Asian Staff Association, LGBT Staff Association, and all of the others. The list is growing. But I personally am extremely passionate about advancing equity for Black staff. So that's where my focus is. And what does that mean to me? Well, basically, it means engaging and advocating for Black staff, being in community, listening to individuals across campus, and learning about their experiences. What's important to us, and right now, our Black Staff Association, all of the staff affiliates have executive boards. I have a dynamic board with about 14 members right now, and all across campus. So we include UC Health Centers, the medical centers, general campus, Scripps, anyone and everyone across the campus. But our goal really is to connect individuals with resources, voicing their concerns, and really pushing for leadership, bringing people in, helping them to fine-tune their skills and achieve their goals here on campus. And most important to me, advancing equity really is about addressing and validating people's feelings and their experiences that they are incurring here on campus, and providing, of course, the tools so that we can really rise above our situations. By doing that, and most of us are a part of like LEAD fellows. We're a part of different communities or committees across campus, such as the EDI Accountability Council and advisory councils. I guess I have to say that since last May, June, with the murder of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and so many countless others, it really activated BSA. And we began to reach out and to, remember that commercial, Reach Out and Touch? We began to reach out to one another and encourage and be there for each other. And with that, that led to bringing people like Professor Starla Lewis and Shola Richards to campus. Now, all of these things that we're doing is in collaboration with the Staff Association, PASA, all of the staff affiliate groups, and anyone across campus, who wants to address anti-Blackness, address systemic racism, all of those things. And of course, we've partnered with EDI, BC Pettit, and ABC Forbes. So these are the things that we're doing and focusing on, and all to address anti-Blackness, because I believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, because I do believe that if we don't address these things, we can't move forward together as an organization, as an institution. So we host listening sessions, informational sessions, we do workshops, and we do celebrations. We'll be having a Juneteenth celebration coming up this year. And we're also advocating for our campus, along with all of the UCs, to recognize Juneteenth as a paid holiday. And with that, I want to say that we also work with the UC Black Affinity Group as well. And I also like to encourage each and every one of you to join one of the staff affiliate groups, whatever that you feel most passionate about, whichever one that you identify with. Find ways to get involved and engage, and reach out. Just reach out to people, talk to people, encourage, and address and acknowledge the challenges and concerns that, we all have. In one of the previous sessions, we're talking about biases and so forth, and all of these things are real, and the experiences that people have and are feeling are real. And the best way to bring people up and out is to acknowledge, address, and push forward. So with that, I'm going to stop my introduction and turn it right back on over there to Ryan Crawford.
Thanks, Tammy T. Next, I want to introduce Janelle Dean. Janelle?
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well and has enjoyed the conference thus far. I'm here to share with you a little bit about our alumni cultural affinity councils, which I get the pleasure to advise and spend some time with. And I want to encourage you all to, after hearing a little bit more about the councils, to inquire and get involved if you're so interested. So our alumni affinity councils is one way that alumni advances equity. And our councils exist really to foster a sense of community and connection amongst our alumni constituents, as well as our student community. And so the 4 active alumni affinity councils that we have right now are the Asian Pacific Islander Alumni Council, the Black Alumni Council, the Chicanx Latinx Alumni Council, and the Filipinx Alumni Council. These councils are open to anyone. So, not just to the group that is within the name, but open and inclusive to all of our alumni constituency. Each of our councils is broken up into 4 different areas of focus. The first is our communications group, which really focuses on the internal and external communication, social media and emails, our newsletter, all that good stuff. And then the 3 other subcommittees really focus on important areas that we as the alumni team focus heavily on. And those are student recruitment, retention and support, signature programs, as well as alumni philanthropy. And so council members get to identify which of those areas is a passion area and focus some time and invest some energy in making an impact. So I'll share a little bit about what each of those groups does. So our student recruitment, retention, and support committee really gets to work closely with EAOP and admissions, our campus community centers that do such a wonderful job of creating community for our students, as well as student organizations. And the alumni within the councils get to lead efforts in supporting current students through networking, mentoring, graduation activities, all sorts of things. From the beginning, recruiting students to get interested in UC San Diego or apply to UC San Diego all the way until the end. And so alumni get to work very closely with the full spectrum of students from beginning to end. The signature programs committee within each of the councils focuses on engagement activities throughout the year to connect, celebrate, mentor, and engage alumni within the council constituency. And so Alumni has our signature programs, Homecoming, this conference, the Triton Leaders Conference, as well as Alumni Celebration Weekend. And so our councils work closely with us to host different programs and events, all virtual right now. We've transitioned, completely into virtual programs, which has been very successful. An example is during Homecoming, our Filipinx Alumni Council hosted a cooking demo with some alumni who wrote and created and put out there the Filipino Instant Pot Cookbook, which is wonderful. You should check it out. But we hosted with the Filipinx Alumni Council a cooking demo with the authors of that cookbook. And then during this conference, our Chicanx Latinx Alumni Council hosted a session. You may have checked it out, on mentoring and supporting students post-graduation. Other programs include that the councils host include working with campus programs like Triton Day and Black History Month, Cesar Chavez celebration, Lunar New Year, all those good things, as well as they host their own professional development, virtual networking events, and programs that work closely with what's going on campus. Like we just hosted with the API Alumni Council, a celebration and launch of the Asian American and Pacific Islander Studies minor. And they discussed a little bit about the future of the API experience at UC San Diego. And that was a really, really great discussion. Lastly, the committee that focuses on fundraising is our Alumni Philanthropy Committee. And that group really works hard to strategize and fundraise for affiliated scholarship fund support. So most of our councils have a scholarship that they work closely with to fundraise and support students. One example of this is the Black Alumni Scholarship Fund, which has been raising funds to support students since 2002 on our campus. And since then, they've raised over $800,000 to support Black students and increase diversity on our campus. So very, very important work. And our alumni who are a part of the councils are very dedicated to this mission. So I'm going to drop a couple of links in the chat box for you to check out a little bit more, because I know I'm probably over my time. Ryan's eyeing me over there. So thanks for listening. And I hope you check out our councils and feel free to reach out to me to express interest. Thank you.
Thanks, Janelle. Next, I'm going to throw it over to Glenda Jones-Davis. Glenda?
Good morning, and thank you, Ryan. I'm Glenda Davis, Senior Diversity Officer with Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. She, her, hers, and I've been with the university for a little over 29 years. With the founding of the Cross-Cultural Center in the early 1990s, the campus community centers have become an integral part of campus life. In addition to the Cross-Cultural Center, the constellation of centers now includes the Women's Center, the LGBT Resource Center, the Black Resource Center, the Raza Resource Centro, and the Intertribal Resource Center. As Senior Diversity Officer, I'm here representing the campus community centers since they are a part of my portfolio. I've also had the privilege and pleasure to help establish the Black Resource Center, the Raza Resource Centro, and the Intertribal Resource Center. These centers, open to all students, provide nurturing environments for students to come and be in community with each other as they develop their identities as scholars. The professional staff of each center provide engagement opportunities that support students in learning about themselves and their communities of origin. The staff at all of our centers collaborate with each other to share resources and information to enhance learning about each other's identities, as well as to acknowledge that these identities often intersect and create additional learning opportunities. All of this work is performed through a social justice lens, creating the conditions for students to become scholars and activists, ready to create a more equitable, just, and inclusive society as they move through their academic programs and into their futures after graduation. As you might imagine, recreating the home away from home feeling that our centers provide students has been challenging during the pandemic. I am so pleased and proud of what our centers have been able to provide virtually in support of all students. They moved quickly to learn the presentation and collaboration tools, and then set about creating content, presentations, and diversions to help keep everyone, not just students, engaged and encouraged during these extremely challenging times. I encourage you to visit their websites and see for yourself how our centers support our students and campus community as a whole. And I'll close in saying that we welcome alumni involvement. Many centers have programs designed for very specific alumni engagement, and all centers are seeking those of you who are willing to share your stories, as well as words of wisdom and encouragement with the students. And encouragement is especially important right now. With that, I'll close and hand back to Ryan for the next speaker.
Thanks, Glenda. I'm going to throw it over to Michael Bumbry next. Michael?
Thank you, Ryan, and good morning to everyone. And thank you so much for all the organizers who have planned today's event and all the alumni speakers, excuse me, all the alumni who are participating throughout the weekend. Michael Bumbry, he, him, his pronouns, and I have the privilege of serving as the Senior Director of Alumni Outreach and Engagement. And so what does that mean? So I manage the team of alumni directors that are embedded across the academic divisions and college. My colleague Brandon will speak to greater detail about the work that we're doing with the colleges, but I've been asked to say a few words about our work in supporting the academic divisions. I'll also say that as an alumni engagement department, and a few of my colleagues you've heard from, such as Janelle, Ryan, others on this call, we can always do more, right? And we can always be better at this work. We're never going to quite reach there, and we'll keep working. And we're continually asking ourselves, how does diversity, equity, and inclusion integrate into the work that we do, not just on an ad hoc basis. So again, our structure is set up in that we have dedicated full-time staff that supports each of the academic divisions across campus, which provides a strategic partnership that allows us to share resources, ideas, and to collaborate. A few examples for those of you who were able to join yesterday's TLC, it's the Triton Leaders Conference, right? And so we can point to such examples as yesterday's session on trailblazing women in STEM, moderated by the chemistry chair, Dr. Vicki Gresham, or the Equity in Economics, Business, and Entrepreneurship, which is moderated by Professor David Arnold. I had a chance to sit in on the latter, and it was truly inspirational. The men and women who spoke on that panel, very, very proud to be affiliated with UCSD with such great alumni who are thinking about that work. So those types of partnerships are exactly the type of things that we are pursuing to bring quality programming to our alumni populations. Another campus you can't highlight, given my limited time, you can't highlight necessarily every division, but I did want to bring to light the biosciences division's biology, undergraduate, and master's mentorship program, or BUMP. BUMP is an incubator for innovation and equips underrepresented students with the guidance, tools, and resources to navigate pathways for successful careers in STEM. And I'm going to drop a link about that program. Give me just 1 second, please. And perfect. Boom. So you can find out more information about BUMP, and they're the alumni director for that is Sarah Turner. I'd be happy to connect you all with Sarah for anyone who's interested in getting involved or financially supporting that great initiative as well. And then our Scripps Oceanography unit has a group for supporting students. There's what they call meetups for first generation, for African-American students, for international students as well. So I'll drop a link in that too. In conclusion, here the name of the game is partnerships, partnerships, partnerships. So again, my alumni director, the team that I work with, the alumni directors, works in tandem with the deans, their development officers, other academic staff to really push this conversation. And we in alumni engagement are really meant to help amplify those messages, get things out through our social media and other marketing channels, and really put our brains together for the betterment of the UCSD community. Finally, I'll just give a next big plug for our upcoming signature event. We're still in Triton Leaders Conference. The next thing coming up will be our Alumni Celebration Weekend. And that will be very much a partnership between the academic divisions, the colleges, and alumni engagement to continue this diversity, equity, and inclusion conversation. So with that, I will turn it back over to Ryan. And then if we make it to the breakout rooms, I'll try to address any questions or interests to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Next, I want to throw it over to Brandon Takata. Brandon?
Thanks, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see so many familiar faces here. I am Brandon Takata, the Assistant Director of Alumni Outreach, working with our alumni communities both in Los Angeles and in New York. finding ways of re-engaging them with the campus, whether it's through mentoring or advising our students, possibly other alumni, discussing hiring opportunities, internships, part-time, full-time employment opportunities. Again, their students or potentially alumni that are seeking a career change for themselves. Discussing philanthropy and identifying areas on campus that line up with what they're passionate about in order to direct their gift, or even just to stay informed. I'm a proud Triton grad myself, class of 2005. And back in the fall, both Ryan Crawford and myself began to work a little bit more closely with the undergraduate colleges in order to sort of cohesively work together on engaging our alumni and bringing them back to campus. So some of the things that the undergraduate colleges do, so, Revelle, Muir, Marshall, Warren, ERC 6th, and now of course 7th, each of them address advancing equity academically with some of the colleges and the coursework that they do. So for those of you that are familiar with Marshall and their dimensions of culture, Muir this year is offering writing courses addressing anti-racism. From a residential and student life perspective, a lot of the undergraduate colleges offer various programs on supporting first generation students. Some staff in Warren College will even self-identify as first generation to help develop that stronger sense of community. In terms of helping our current students in advancing equity, each of the colleges are always going to be looking for ways of plugging in alumni to serve as mentors. I think a good first step, and as I'm sure you've heard a lot throughout the weekend, is our Tritons Connect social media platform that allows for alumni to connect not only with one another, but also to current students. Another great program we have coming up in March, I believe it's the week of March 22nd, is our next Take a Triton to Work program, where we can potentially match up students with alumni to shadow them for the day. It's a really great way of exposing our students to real world life experience, especially as we're still going to be in a virtual world. Each college on their respective homepages has email addresses where you can reach out to people, and time permitting, I'm happy to take a deeper dive in the breakout session. So with that, I will toss things back to Ryan.
Thanks, Brandon. Next, Morgan.
Thank you so much, Ryan, and good morning to you all. My name is Morgan Appella. I'm the Assistant Dean for Education and Community Outreach at UC San Diego Extension, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my home. A little bit about education and community outreach at Extension. We are a self-supporting part of UC San Diego dedicated to serving the lifespan learning needs of diverse audiences across the globe, but more importantly in our local communities. And we are, like you, steadfastly grounded in the premise of fiat lux. And this is the maxim that drives us to illuminate educational pathways from preschool to post-retirement, built solidly upon a foundation of access, equity, excellence, and inclusion. And we believe that education is a fundamental human right, and our role as educators is that of human rights defenders. And as part of a public research university, we have a duty to our communities, not just in terms of undergraduate and graduate education, but also to serve as a resource more broadly speaking. And at Extension, we move at the speed of trust and in the spirit of truly collaborative engagement and partnership. And our work with communities is interdependent, contextually grounded, and synergistic, focused on need and whatever those needs may be. So a little different in our approach. And so in practical terms, what does this mean, and what does this mean for opportunities for your involvement? So it may mean participating or sponsoring STEAM-focused and workforce development programming offered without charge to K-12 students and parents in the San Diego and National City Public Libraries, or YMCAs. It may mean partnering around the Intertribal Court of Southern California to establish educational diversion programs for first-time youth offenders. You may also find opportunities in the form of Parent University, where we deliver curriculum to parents and caregivers in communities and districts across the region in both English and Spanish. We believe in the power of social capital in education and the idea that informed conversations about learning mean that everyone begins with a shared understanding of the basics. That may mean training tutors in City Heights. That may mean educational opportunities for homeless youth across the city. It may come in the form of supporting 3,000 teachers in our highest need districts through the delivery of custom designed training in remote learning, all without costs, or even in the form of short form videos on the education channel at UC TV that offers real life guidance and just a little bit peace of mind as together we navigate this labyrinth of the COVID era. These are but a few examples where you can get involved, and the opportunities for involvement with us abound, and really all that's missing is you. And what I will do is hand it back to Ryan, and I will put my contact information in the chat, and hopefully we can talk a little bit more in the breakout session. So Ryan, back to you.
Thanks, Morgan. Next, I want to throw it over, and last but not least, over to Taria.
Hi, Ryan, good morning, and good morning to all of you. Yes, that is correct, and last but not least, but I like the structure that this has been. This whole entire conference has been eye-opening. I've actually been in education for a few decades now, and there's always something that we can learn when we actually put our heads together. But one of the reasons I like the way that Ryan has this set up today is because in annual giving, and I am the executive director for annual giving, which means that, yes, I am one of the people that fundraise for all the areas that you have heard my colleagues speak about today. And I do that for several reasons. Number one, I am not an alumni of UC San Diego, but I am an alumni of other institutions, but I bring my passion for helping students and supporting the institution with me wherever I go. And I have that with me here at UC San Diego. We are doing fundraising for every area on campus, but right now our real focus is on our students. And that is because this is one of the areas that Chancellor Kosa has said that he really wants to help increase, and helping increasing that in admissions. You heard Cynthia talk about admissions, and you heard people talk earlier yesterday about the gap related to not just African Americans, but other students of color, and the numbers that are low numbers that we have. So our focus has been on student support, student success, and also student abilities to attend this institution. So when I say students, first of all, it is students. It's about getting the students here. And how can we do that? We do that through scholarships. We do that by providing scholarships for students to be able to assess UC San Diego. Second, we provide support to them after they get here. You heard them talk about the Triton's food pantry. Yes, once students get here, the needs doesn't stop. We have a large group of students who have, as we call it, food insecurity. I call it hunger. You know, they are hungry and they do need to eat. So we're supporting areas in that realm. And then next, when we talk about success, yes, we want to be here to help them to succeed to commencement, but the journey doesn't stop there. Really, after commencement, that's where we really need to be able to support them because at that point, they are looking into their futures. And we're doing that with our colleagues. We're doing that through the Career Center. We're doing that through the resource centers that we provide support for. We're doing that with our alumni. You hear people constantly talking about Triton's Connect. If you are an alum and you are not on Triton's Connect, get on there, because we have students that want to connect with you. We need mentors. We need for you to be able to tell them how they will be able to get through graduation, especially for those students. This is the first time that they have actually attended a college. Might be the first time that they're away from home. And yes, they are nervous. But if we can provide support for them, we will be able to help them do that. We also provide support for our centers, like our counseling centers, which there is a need for that too. But the ways that you can help, we have several ways for you to be able to give. And if you're standing in, line at Starbucks and you're about to buy yourself a cup of coffee, think about how you can share a cup of coffee with a student. And that means that maybe you can actually go to, and I'll put this in our chat, our CrowdSurf platform. And so that is crowdsurf.ucsd.edu. And you will see there that there are many ways, many places that you can give. When I spoke about the Triton Food Pantry, I don't know if you realize it, but even a $5 donation will actually help provide 25 meals for a student. So that's how you can help. Being involved, being engaged, being supportive, and if you can give, actually make a contribution. And if you can make more than one, do that too. So thank you, Ryan, for your time. I will put my information in the chat, and I'll pass it back over to you. And hopefully we might get a chance to do some breakouts, or we'll just break out right here.
Thanks, Taria. And I want to thank all the panelists for sharing the overview of opportunities to get involved and to advance equity through action here in our community. Based on the timing though, making sure we want to get us over to our closing keynote speaker at 12:15, a number of us have decided that instead of the breakout rooms, I'm going to ask our attendees, everybody here, all 62 different participants, if anybody wants to unmute themselves. I want to ask, how has the conference inspired you to take action? And what would you like to know more about? So opening up that to anybody here.
Okay, I'll jump in. I think for those of you that we've been on the same panel as, you guys know that I'm not afraid to jump in, but Alain Diaz, class of 2005, chemical engineering bachelor's. I think I said it in the chat, but a big shout out to Glenda. I truly appreciate all of her wisdom and leadership throughout all of the years. So happy to see your face here. But I have been taking rigorous notes throughout this entire time, and I've got 3 key actions that I'm going to be taking back to my company. We're on our early journey of affinity groups, which we call inclusion networks. I have volunteered to be an advisor this year for our multicultural inclusion network, so I will be sharing my key takeaways, bringing some stuff back to HR, trying to see how we can continue to advance DEI within corporate America. And I will continue to try to get more engaged. I already got on Triton Connect, so if any of you guys are looking for somebody who needs a mentor, I already put my profile out there ready to help. But yeah, so those are some key things, and this has just been a fabulous conference, and I'm so excited that it's been virtual so that, you know, geographies hasn't been a barrier this year. So thank you to all who organized it. It's been fantastic.
Well, thank you for participating and speaking up. Ping, I saw that you wanted to go next, please.
Yes, I too am a Glenda Davis disciple and wonderful memories. It seems like yesterday, Glenda. And, you know, this conference really surprised me, actually. It surprised me in that I didn't think it was going to change maybe the way I was doing things as CEO of a biotech company, but I can say that this was eye-opening and transformative, and I think it will actually change the way I live forever. It will change the way I do things. So huge impact on my life, and the panelists throughout both days really opened up with a lot of honesty that was amazing to listen to. I've known Earl for a long time, since I was a student athlete back in the 90s. And it was really amazing to hear him as well. And then the keynote speakers were just, and the moderators and the panel, I mean, it was just amazing. I think the action takeaway for me is, as a CEO and person with a sphere of influence, is to take the EDI message to heart in all our practices, hiring practices, and also continue to bond and have relationships with my employees at a level where they're feeling safe and included in, you know, a lot of our, in what we do at the company. And so I think that also means that we need to measure what you know our company in all its dimensions, so that we can continue to make further improvements.
Thanks, Pin, for sharing that and for reflecting on those experiences that you had this last 2 days. I do also want to mention that all these sessions have been recorded, and we will be sharing these sessions out. So in case anybody missed sessions yesterday or today, as we were only being able to participate in one, and a lot of times there was 2 or 3 different concurrent sessions happening, we will be sharing that out. So please look out for that. Anybody else? Rachel, I see you got a little one there with you, future Triton in training. Do you want to share about your experiences?
Sure. I mean, the conference has been wonderful. Obviously, Zoe has been learning a lot on this journey as well. But just quickly, all of the sessions have been great to give me new ideas to explore. I'm the Orange County Club president with Alumni. And so thinking about ways that I can bring some of these messages back to our regional club and get more ideas, especially the utilization of Zoom and how we can bring some of these best practices now that distance is not a factor. Sorry, I've got to distract him, but this has been great for, as Ping said, giving lots of new ideas and ways to bring things back to what our current practice is.
Thank you. I saw Marlene Scott has raised her hand. Marlene?
Hi, I'm probably the oldest one in this group. I went to Thurgood Marshall, class of 74. And that experience changed the trajectory of my life. I'm now active, Morgan Appella, in the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. And I was recently voted into the the council. And my goal is to do outreach into the people of color communities of San Diego, which I grew up in, and to bring them into the Lifelong Learning Institute, because it's 93% all white, middle class. But I also see the connection with the students, because I was an educational opportunity scholarship student who wouldn't have gone to college without it. So I have a lot of experience in a decade of community organizing, 2 decades in entrepreneurism and corporate life, particularly being the first minority female to break into the presidential office of a corporation, and then being an 18-year public school teacher, kinder to 8. So there's a lot of experience that I could share and help with the students, but also to keep our generation involved as well. So I'm looking forward to, I have 5 pages of notes from this weekend of all these people I want to connect to. If you were around in 74, it would be a whole different world today. So I'm just so helpful and thrilled to see where we are today at UCSD. And I'm so proud to be part of that history.
Thank you, Marlene. Jan, I see you have your hand raised. Can you?
Hi, I'm Jan Fisher, Revelle, class of 76. So yeah, I know what it was like back in 74 so as well, because I was there. What I've gotten out of this weekend sessions is a lot of valuable information that I can use to further our mentoring activities in the Black Alumni Association for the Black Alumni Scholarship Fund students that we have. Yesterday I was able to talk to or chat with the head of scripts, and I know that we have a couple of lips work oceanography, I know I said it wrong, majors in our group, and I've received a lot of beneficial information that we can share. I can share with my mentor team, our mentor team, to get out to our students to further increase the equity for them at UCSD, and to be able to have resources for the incoming students that we're going to be looking at in April and May for next school year. So as always, this is a wonderful, beneficial activity to participate in every February, and I absolutely absolutely appreciate it and all the work that everyone that has done. It seemed like it was going to be weird to be virtual after being there in person last year, but it was also very rewarding because I could multitask. I was working yesterday and listening to meetings and participating, and now I'm outside in 20 miles from my home participating in a park. So thank you all for all the work. Brandon, Glenda, Janelle, thank you for all of the support you've given us as Black alumni, and look forward to doing more to help UCSD get more equity going for all students and people of color and the various other groups that we participate in that are looking for equity, LGBTQ, I think, and handicapped and so forth and so on. So thank you.
Thanks, Jan. And to echo some of the things that are in the chat, we do appreciate you, Jan. Janelle shout that out, and Brandon saying you are truly an inspiration, an inspirational Triton. So we had a couple other people that wanted to go next. Please feel free to jump in.
Hello, my name's Camilla. I'm a class of 1995 from Muir College. I'm a physician in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm actually originally from Tennessee. And I just want to say, first of all, a big thanks to every single person who was involved in this. I cannot imagine the logistics, the time, the effort, among so many other things. It was incredibly important for me. I know this will sound like I'm making this up, but honestly, for me, themes that I've been trying to incorporate in my life have been about equity, diversion, and inclusion. And so I'm incredibly, incredibly impressed by the representation of everyone who has spoken or been a part of this. Even just looking at the Zoom pictures, it's incredible to look at the diversity. I also want to, and I hope I won't embarrass them, give a big thanks to Lisa Kellogg and Casilda Pagan, who have brought me on as an ambassador for Nashville, Tennessee, and have really been instrumental in helping me to get more involved, which I really appreciate, and told me about all these wonderful efforts. And I could say thanks to so many people, but I also just, as far as action takeaways are concerned, I would say very quickly, when I first came to UC San Diego, I was incredibly nervous. I was from Tennessee, and everyone's like, why in the heck would you go all the way out there? And I was like, because I want to do something completely different and really challenge myself. And I will say it was, the first 6 months were very challenging for me. I'd never even gone to go away camp. And I just think that the time that I spent there was truly transformational for me, and my family noticed that. And that's one thing that I like to tell people, is that I feel like UC San Diego can really push you in ways that you might not imagine, both as a student, but also just as a human being. And I think it's really exciting. I feel like I got a virtual tour within 2 days, which in a virtual setting is very impressive to me. Anyway, I'm going on and on. I guess the point is, I just am very enthusiastic. I'm glad to spread the word, and I'm enthusiastic to be here. So thanks for hearing me out. Sorry if I took too much time.
No, you didn't take enough time. No, we love to hear from you, and thank you for sharing. Anthony had his hand raised too, so I wanted to throw it over to Anthony, please.
Hi, welcome. I'm Anthony, class of 2015, they, them, theirs. And Glenda, it's so cool to see you on here too. Everyone has many memories. When I was fortunate enough to be an intern at both the Cross Cultural Center and the LGBT Resource Center at my time, and like seeing the EDI conference in the mail. You have no idea how much joy it brought me. Well, I'm gonna cry. This is, I guess, a very healing and emotional moment for me, because my time at UCSD was actually really hard and hard on my family. And it was a struggle to get my degree, which was in mathematics applied science. You could imagine why it was hard for me to be in that department. But like, I'm a new physics teacher. I just got my credential this year, so celebrations to that. But it was because of the campus community center and the the love and care and the support of that community, I've been able to come here now. So I've made it. I'm on like my new professional training wheels for sure. But like everything from this conference just gave me so much life. And I'm ready to I'm ready to go out and be part of the community now because of this, because there is that support now, and I feel seen and validated. So, well, I'm gonna stop now because I'm gonna bawl any second now. But thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing. No, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the love and support of our community. So I do appreciate you sharing your experiences and reflecting on that. And I hope that we all can go out into the community and share our love and support and know that we have our fellow Tritons by our side. And I don't want to end this conversation, but I want to make sure we can know that we can continue this on Tritons Connect. But we do need to wrap up now so that we can all join our closing keynote speaker, which will be at 12:15. So thank you for joining us today. And like I said, please don't consider this the end of this session. Consider it the start of going out there, as Anthony said, sharing our love and support of our community. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you at the closing keynote.